So good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming. There's a lot more slowly trickling in. So please bear with us as we slowly give a bit of time for people to come in. Thank you, everyone. We have guests from several countries today. We thought it was going to be a small, humble event, but it's turned out to be quite a large one, packed with a lot of content. So we're very excited to be presenting to you today from Malaysia, from Kasih Hospice Foundation. And we are really humbled and grateful that there's actually so many people, so many supporters from everywhere. So very excited. Thank you for giving up your Saturday morning to share a very special day with us, World Palliative Care Day. So ladies and gentlemen, medical personnel, caregivers, patient family members, supporters and friends, thank you for joining us today on this very special day. It is World Hospice and Palliative Care Day. This is a day to celebrate and support hospices and palliative care around the world, to highlight and celebrate the important work we do and the importance of the patients we serve. So the theme for World Hospice Day 2020 is My Care, My Comfort, because care and comfort is what all hospices seek to provide to our patients during this last leg of their journey. So we have a very exciting program packed with many things. So without ado, let me introduce you to our chairperson, Dato Dr. Goh Pek Pin. She has been chairperson of Kasih Hospice Foundation for 13 years now. Chairperson, the screen is yours.
Thank you very much, Catherine. Catherine is our manager at Kasih Hospice and also is a vice president for Malaysian Hospice Council. So today is a special day, World Hospice and Palliative Care Day. We take this opportunity to have this 2 hours event to share with you what we, Kasih Hospice, have done so far, and also to introduce you to the vast vision of what Kasih would like to do. Before I begin my presentation, I would like to introduce you to a special guest of today. We have 2 special guests. First is a Geshe Tenzin Zopa, who is our Buddhist teacher, advisor to Kasih Hospice, and also an international Buddhist teacher. And he is actually based in Australia. Geshe, say something to us.
Hello, everybody. Greetings to this very special day of hospice and palliative care of the world, and have a great event together.
Thank you. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining from Western Australia and also bringing all your friends to join us. We see many Australian friends are with us and we welcome you. Your participation gives us a lot of motivation to continue our work. The second special guest is Mdm Leong Moh See. Mdm Leong is a caregiver and she's going to share with us later about her experience. Mdm Leong.
Hi, everyone. I'm indeed honored to be invited for this auspicious day, and I hope you will enjoy your day.
Thank you. Kasih Hospice Foundation won't start without this group of people and won't stay so long since 1997. So I have the pleasure to introduce Mr. Wong Kui On, who has been the first batch of volunteer to Kasih Hospice and has been with us for some time, and he manages our finances. Wong?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. And on this special occasion, I actually would like to thank all the hospices for the wonderful work done to bring hope and, to clear away the fear in the last days, when they feel most helpless and fearful. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Wong. Next is Dr. Sel Chi Peng. She's our medical director and the person behind many of the fundraising event. Chi Peng?
Hello, good morning, everybody. Thank you so much to join us on this very, very meaningful morning. Thank you.
Thank you. Now, as Kasih journey progresses, we have now renamed ourselves as Kasih Hospice Foundation from a previous name called Kasih Foundation. So it has special meaning, and with that, we are inviting 3 special persons to be our directors. They are Lee Oilun.
Hi everyone, I'm so very proud and happy to be proud of this wonderful Kasih Hospice Foundation and to be part of its vast vision.
Thank you. Next is Yvonne Pei. You can unmute yourself, Yvonne, and say a few words. Yvonne, yes.
Hi, sorry. Yeah, hi. I'm in now. Hi. Thank you everyone. I'm happy to be part of this journey for Kasih Foundation, Kasih Hospice. I'm very honored to be part of the team. I think maybe it's a call to really start contributing back to the society and community, and to create more awareness in palliative care especially. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Yvonne. Last but not least is Liao Sikun. Sikun?
Namaste. Hi, everybody. Happy Saturday, and life is a gift. I'm so happy to be part of a team. Thank you very much.
Yes, as you can see, quite a number of the directors have the same hairstyle, because many of us actually pledged for the hair shape and for the fundraising for Kasih Hospice. There's a spirit of the directors and spirits of all the volunteers and medical team. So with that, we have introduced those special guests, and the one more person who is very important, Mr. Mdm Leong, who has been with us for the last 13 years as a first batch of director. He's a director of a Sunway Medical Hospital, and he regretted this morning he has to rush back to the hospital because of the COVID-19 pandemic. As you know, Malaysia is now entering its third wave of this COVID-19, and we pray and we dedicate this event and all of our good work to elimination of the COVID-19 pandemic from the world. So with that, I would like to share my screen and the presentation. Yes, this one. Yes. So as I have alluded just now, we are a family of hospice called Kasih Hospice, and this is the journey that I'm going to share for next few minutes. As you know, hospice is palliative care, they are synonym, and today there are many hospices around the world, and in this family of Foundation for the Preservation of Mahayana Tradition, we do have a group of hospice that our Kasih Hospice is part of. Our vision is actually to help people live well and die well and work through it through compassion. Why we have such vision? Because as our spiritual advisor, Lama Zopa has said that if a person live well, he will surely die well. If a person die well, his after death will be much better than the present time. So with that, in all religions, similar intention and goal, we want to have a wonderful life, especially at the last phase of life, and to live quality life when we are sick or aged or dying, and eventually die well with peace and with joy, hopefully. And to achieve that, we have the mission of wanting to serve the people who, especially the focus at this space is for people with life-limiting or threatening illness and a family through medical, emotional, and spiritual support based on compassion and skillful means. It is not easy at the time of dying to provide care. There are many factors involved. So I'll take you through the journey of Kasih Hospice. Kasih Hospice started in 1997 as a community service to Losang Drapa Center, a Tibetan Buddhist center in Kuala Lumpur. And its spiritual advisor is Geshe Lama Zopa, who is also the founder of Foundation for the Preservation of the Mahayana Tradition. Since at that time, because it's part of the Buddhist organization, the name given by Lama Zopa is Hospice under the care of Medicine Buddha. Soon after, we requested and the name change to something which is more familiar by a local community, and it's called Kasih Hospice. In the year 2005, we officially registered under the Registrar of Society as Kasih Hospice Care Society. Since then, that time, we established a medical team and start to provide home hospice care. Initially, in 1997, we just have a group of volunteers trained by Vendra Pandey-Hotter, one of the founding members of Karuna Hospice in Brisbane, and Dr. Rosalie Shaw to provide companionship to patients, especially those with cancer and HIV/AIDS in hospital. So over the 8 years, we have improved and progressed to have a medical team. In 2007, because of the need of funding, we established a foundation to get the tax exemption status from our Malaysian government authority. And since then, Kasih Foundation has been organizing many successful fundraising events to support the work of Kasih Hospice Care Society. This year, we have progressed to change the name of Kasih Foundation to a specific word, Kasih Hospice Foundation, by the advice of the government authority, so that we will focus our work and fundraising event on hospice-related activities. Then with that, we are adding three wonderful people to be part of our directorship. Although names have changed, time has passed, this is a continuum of services. We still have the same goal, same vision and mission. Kasih provided three main services to the community. The first is the medical home care services. Second is a daycare service at one of the palliative care unit in the government hospital. And the third is hospital visit. First, I would like to take you through what we did, what our medical team do at patients' home. This home care service started in 2005 with 1 doctor and 1 nurse, and we have now improved and have increased to 3 doctors and 6 nurses. The doctor and nurses visited patients referred to us by the doctors, oncologists, and other medical doctors, and we visit patient at home, assess the situation, provide the necessary medicine as for symptom control, and provide emotional and psychosocial needed by both patients and family. As you know, when a person is sick with this life-limiting illness, the whole family is affected. The chore, the work, the life activities, all are affected. So they are vulnerable, and it is crucial for them to get this emotional and psychosocial support. Last but not least, we also provide equipment to patients. These equipments are very expensive. You often see them in the hospitals, such as special hospital beds, oxygen concentrator, wheelchair, and etc. So patient will request, and they'll come to our office to collect those medicine. And the smaller items, our nurses actually carry them to patients' home. These medicine and equipments are provided completely free of charge, not even a deposit. And we maintain our equipment by some of the volunteers, and certainly there are money needed to purchase and to maintain these equipment. So over the years, we have served more than 6,000 patients. As you can see in this graph, the number of patients increased progressively. And at any one time, there are about 200 patients and families are under our care. Most of the patients have cancer. As you know, hospice initially started for this life-limiting illness of cancer, but we are also seeing the increased number of people with end-stage renal disease and end-stage other organ failures. And there are also some patients who are non-cancer being referred to us. In the area that we are, so we serve more Chinese patients, but we do see other as well, Malay, Indians, and others. This is more or less the population composition in any city in Malaysia. As you can see, we are multi-ethnic. Our medical team and admin team consists of people from who are Malays, Indians, Punjabis, Chinese, and we are a happy family with beautiful tropical weather like Australia, blue sky, and many times our medical doctor have to drive to to patient home in this hot weather. The next service is daycare service. Daycare service is provided by a team of volunteers to palliative care unit at Selayang Hospital. Selayang Hospital has the first established purpose-built ward for hospice called Palliative Care Unit. So we started this since 2012 and we have served more than 8,000 man-hours. As you can see from the picture, the activities included services such as hair cutting, sometimes making up, sometimes making family get together. At time, we also actually arrange for tea serving ceremony by the future partner, son and daughter-in-law to their parent-in-law who are sick. And most important is a companionship, sitting with patient, sharing and hearing what the patient have to say. As you know, when we are sick in the hospital, most time we are lonely and we like someone to have patient's ear to hear us. So daycare service is a very essential part of our service. Next is hospital visit. We have actually started this long ago in 1997. Our volunteers who are trained by the Independent Hotel, Dr. Rosalie Shaw and some of us senior volunteers. And they are now divided into group and visit patients once a week. Each team consists of about 5 volunteers, and they will begin their service visit by gathering together at the hospital, and they set the motivation to serve selflessly with love and compassion before visiting patients, and they end with a session of debriefing to share challenges and joy and happy moment as well as dedication. So as you can see, Geshe Zopa is one of a very active supporter of our hospital visit in the formation year. Next is about COVID-19. I think nowadays this is a very popular word, and we would like to emphasize at this special day that hospice organization can do something very important during COVID-19 pandemic. When the country imposed a movement control order on March 18, many families were afraid fear that we may not be able to visit them. But hospice medical team continue to visit patients in need of urgent care. And for those patients who do not need urgent care, we medical team call them or have video call with them. Our office are always open for patients and families to come and collect medicine and equipment. Our NGOs medical team have to wear full PPE to protect themselves and the patients and the family during this time. And you know, this PPE is not comfortable. It's very hot, especially in our weather. And they wear this PPE to go to patients' home, which can be about 60 kilometers away from the office. Besides continuing our service during COVID-19 pandemic, our doctors and nurses actually join in the medical webinar to share their experience and also the challenges of caring for patients with all these barriers such as mask, face shield, and gown. And this video has been watched by many people, more than 1,000 people from all over the world, 6 continents. I think they got very popular, and whatever they said has also been transcribed into a book. So as you can see, some of the pictures show the medical teams doing their medical, we call it medical round, using whatever social media we can. Besides serving patients, there's one extraordinary things that the admin team have done together with our volunteers. When there's urgent call by the hospitals that our healthcare providers, the frontliners are short of PPE, we sew face shield, gown, face shield, as well as headwear and deliver them to the hospitals. Together, we have done 25,000 pieces of PPE. And you can see during movement control order, we have to have special pass in order to show the police that we need to send this vital protection to our frontliners. And our police are very happy and actually joyful that we concerned citizens, responsible citizens are doing this. So that's about COVID-19, and now we have third wave. I think soon we may have to get our sewing machine back to sew PPE. Besides service, we do another very important part of Kasih Hospice is training. We provide education to both public as well as those who are interested to be volunteers. Why is it so? Hospice or palliative care is still quite not known by everyone. As you know, we would like to leave no one behind. Universal health coverage is to leave no one behind in these essential services, as everybody will eventually die. At the last part of life, we do need medical, emotional, and psychosocial support. So to do that, we conduct many education programs so that people know about it, so they can refer their loved ones to us. We also have activities that help teach people to live well, eat well, have a positive mental attitude so they will die well. So this will reduce our work when we have to serve patients at the end of life, because people know how to handle their life at the end. Next, so some of the pictures shown here in our office. We have a small training facilities where people sit around and learn. And we do use other tools such as art therapy, button games to increase the skill and skillful means to reach out to patients. The volunteers gather here every 3 monthly for a debriefing session so we can learn from each other. Besides training public and volunteers, we also provide training to caregivers. As you know, in Asia particularly and many other countries now, it's very expensive to send patients with chronic illness to the hospital or care facilities. So family members may eventually care for people with chronic illness at home. So we teach people the skill of caring people who are bedridden, who cannot walk, or what to prepare, what kind of food to prepare, and things like that. And we do this regularly. Last but not least, another essential program that we have is interfaith dialogue. This is also one of the pillars that the Foundation for the Preservation of Mahayana Tradition emphasized, to have people from all different religions come together to openly discuss the issue about death and dying, to prepare ourselves and our loved ones to face the eventuality. So we had our first interfaith dialogue in December last year, and Geshe Zopa was one of our speakers, together with chaplain and pastor from Christian, Hindu priest, and Muslim imam. So this year, we are going to have another one through Zoom this time on December 5th, 2020. Do contact us to get the Zoom invitation link. Last but not least is money. As you know, we want to do good, we need to have a lot of causes and conditions. One of them is financial support. Previous year, we have been organizing our Kasih Charity Fair, where we have fun fair, we have food and items sold to people in a very packed hall. With COVID-19, we could not do that. So this is one of the collateral damage that many NGOs are facing today. So our Kasih manager was very creative, and together we actually shaved our head. About 20 volunteers came forward to donate their hair to this fundraising event, and we have a very positive response with about 1 million money raised. So we want to thank everyone for that, and we actually viral it out on Facebook and social media. So this is my account of this journey since 1997, and whatever we do is with the hope that all patients and their family will be courageous in facing the end of their life. We care, and with our care, we hope this will bring comfort to both family and patients, and from anxiety and fearful mental status to something which is more peaceful, less anxious, and eventually die in a very peaceful and joyful moment. So this is also the theme for this year, Palliative World Hospice and Palliative Care Day, which is My Care, My Comfort. With that, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Dato Dr. Goh, for sharing that slice of life and activities at Kasih Hospice. As you can see, it's really packed. We do so much more than just medical aspect. We really champion community and whole person care, both from psychosocial as well as the medical and physical side. So moving on next, I would like to introduce Dr. Vanitha, our senior hospice doctor at Kasih Hospice Foundation, who will be reciting a tribute poem for all our patients. Dr. Vanitha has been hospice doctor at Kasih for more than 12 years now, and I hope everyone will take a moment to appreciate how profound that is. 12 years of entering patient homes, entering patient lives, making that individual journey with families one by one at the most poignant time of their lives. Personally, for me, and I think that's why some of us choose to join the hospice environment, even though we are not doctors ourselves. I would like to express there's nothing I can think of that is more meaningful, that is more noble. So thank you, Dr. Vanitha, and all the doctors and all hospice medical teams for everything that you do every day, everywhere. I think this is our opportunity on World Hospice Day to give you that tribute and to give all our patients that tribute as well. Dr. Vanitha is joining us today. Thank you for joining us, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Catherine. And thank you for writing up the poem. I'll do my best to present a poem. All right. Could I have the slide up, please?
Dr. Vanitha, I think the slide is on Cheng Hoon's side.
I can't. All right. Let me just see. Hold on one sec. Sorry.
Usually we have a Memorial Day tribute on World Hospice and Palliative Care Day, but today, because of the need to go on digital and not to have that social distance, we will pay a small tribute via poetry recitation in memory of our patients. So thank you for joining us for that small thing.
Thank you. All right. I've heard it said that pain is a good thing. It shows living. It shows feelings. I've heard it said that time will heal all sorrows, smooth your grief, soothe your soul. 2 decades has knitted flesh and bones over a gaping hole, adding lines, adding wrinkles. Each year, I return to see your face, evanescent and eternal. You did not age. You did not die. You are still here, more fresh than unplucked flowers, more real than the wind on my face, under my skin, oxygenated by blood, bathed in vermilion, Venus of an elusive spring. I've seen time noted in curious, incomprehensible charts, watch moon circle stars and the widening rings on the bark. But time is not there, time does not pass. As bones thin and voices grow hoarse, as eyes dim and close over twilight sob, eventually I too will disappear, but you will not age, you will not die. Time is not here, time does not pass. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vanitha, for that lovely rendition. I think love is why we are all here today, and it is truly beautiful to be able to communicate that love in a powerful poetic symbol as a tribute to all our patients and the losses that we ourselves have endured. Next, I would like to introduce our first special guest speaker for today, the Honorable Geshe Tenzin Zopa. Geshe Tenzin was the resident teacher of the Losang Drakpa Center in Malaysia, where he became Kasih Hospice's spiritual advisor. And today he is based in Australia under the wider FTMP umbrella. Geshe Tenzin joins us from Western Australia. Good morning, Geshe.
Good morning, Catherine. Thank you. Yeah. So, first of all, I would like to congratulate the true heroes of the Kasih Hospice. Your team are the real hero out there to really, rescue, bring comfort, benefit to those who are most vulnerable, those who are in the most needs, and your 2-decade over service, 24 years, I think, if I count correctly, of unconditional love, care, compassion, service, harmony, tolerant, understanding that you have provided. Hundreds and thousands of people have received the most needed benefit in the most needed time. So for that, I sincerely would like to express from depth of my heart a huge, huge congratulations to all of you. And so for this 30 minutes session, I would like to express my heart in three sections. The first one is very much to express my gratitude and sincere thanks, thanking to all the team. And secondly, I would like to touch the topic that you have given to me, which is compassionately helping people to live well and die well. Then lastly, it's very much form of dedication for the long future for you to continue to be able to be the hero and be the most beneficial to all the future needs of the people who are in the most needs. So firstly, I think the work of hospice is I think one of the toughest work, because you are dealing with the people who are in the most difficult time. Difficult in the sense that who are experiencing terminal illness, and basis on that, physically, emotionally, environmentally, is very disturbed period. And to handle that require immense of skillful means, deep selfless, immense of patience, and most importantly, deep compassion and love. So it is not easy to carry all these qualities. But then without these qualities, it is so hard to handle when someone is going through the most tragic time. Then people who are, dying, again, physically, emotionally, and in particularly because of the dissolutions of the physical aggregates, and also the dissolutions of the elements, the natural, the destruction or the dissolution of the death occurs, immense of challenges of hallucination arises. This is natural to any sentient being, whether human or animal or anyone. So to handle, to care for them effectively, to calm them, comfort them, and try to guide them in the most peaceful way. The peaceful death is unbelievable challenging, extremely difficult task. And these tasks, these tasks are the most difficult tasks compared to so many other the tasks that we engage in our lifetime. And these are the tasks that handled by the hospice care. The doctors, nurse, any other carers, volunteers, including those who work in the office, and also those committee members that who try to manage these activities. It's extremely difficult work, and you delivered, and you successfully delivered, not just for 1 day, 1 week, 1 year, but 2 decades of fruitful work. So this is something that all those patients, whether they can able to express in their word or not, it is the deepest in the form of blessing, in the form of help, support, they receive. And in their deep in the heart, everyone, expresses gratitude to all of you. And even for those people like myself, who have no capability, no way near to, what you do, but just knowing and just hearing and seeing what you do, it is the most heart-touching, most inspiring. Really, this is the essence of the life, the meaning of the life, if you're able to do that. And just with that, you can feel from the depth of your heart how appreciative, even just to witness this. So therefore, such work like what you do, I think no one will disagree. The amazing thing what you do, and everybody in one voice, in one thing, same thinking, that will express appreciation. So therefore, on behalf of my, our inspiration, our guru, our teacher, the spiritual, inspirational guide, Captain Lama Zopa Rinpoche, then all the family members of those who receive the benefit, and all those patients, and everybody, I would like to offer deep respect to all of you, sincere salute to all of you, and you all are truly great. So, so that's my first part. Now the second part, compassionately helping living and dying. I think first of all, I think the compassionately, but any action that infused by compassion itself is one of the most effective, one of the most beneficial, deeds, or even it's just simply a thought. So even that it is very altruistic. It is very beneficial. So so compassion is very much elevating someone from suffering, liberating someone from suffering, freeing from someone from suffering, being direct cause or conditional assistant or conditions to ease the pain and suffering of the suffering people or suffering beings. And this compassion has so many different phases. The compassion, the definition is that, but it expresses in many different forms. So all the actions of the hospice care that you provide, I understand that these are all expressions of compassion. Love is also one of the phases of compassion. Service is also one of the phases of compassion. Patience is one of the phases of compassion. Respect, understanding, gentleness, yeah. So wisdom, skillful means, empathy, all these are different phases of compassion. So every form of dedications of the people that who engage with the hospice work are simply expressions of compassion, simply cultivation of compassion. Then living well, there's no greater living well than being able to be in the service of others' happiness, be in the help of others' happiness, be the cause of others' happiness, be the cause of elevating others from the pain and suffering. So what I understand, what I believe, living well is living in compassion. Living meaningful life is very much live a life in the expression of compassion in those different phases that I have just shared. So I think hospice work is one of the most meaningful way to live this precious human life. So we all wish happiness, do not wish suffering. Happiness very much comes from fulfillment, satisfaction in what you do. And the genuine aspect of satisfaction comes when you are being beneficial to someone's life. You are being the cause of happiness of someone's life, cause of easing someone's pain. I think that that is most fulfilling in our life. And that fulfillment is the direct cause of what means by inner joy, what means by genuine sense of happiness. So even for our own self, which our sole purpose is to be happy. And if we want to be happy, then we should be beneficial for the cause of others' happiness. And as mentioned before, one of the most powerful platform is a hospice, isn't it? Is it? So if anyone, I believe, if for myself, if I understand that, I think this is very effective to overcome all the challenges that we have to go through. Even though, as I mentioned before, this is the toughest work, but then knowing that this is the absolute meaning of life, then I think all our tiredness, all the complaints, all the challenges that we have to go through emotionally, physically, I think, this will help to purify ourselves from all these downs and the negativities. So, so in short, living well is very much live a life with compassion for yourself and for others. And helping to, die well as a carer or anybody, I think the compassion is still the main tool. From the point of view of the patient, if the patient have some, if the patient still have a capability to cultivate inner help, to have a peaceful, the last journey of the life, if express compassion, I think that would be one of the best way to, die well, because even the forgiveness, if it's to do with one's own matter or the matter with others, the grasping at the time of dying, the things that you cannot let go, in particularly those grudge, etc., the forgiveness is extremely, extremely important. And the forgiveness, which is letting go of even whatever that life that you have experienced, that which you feel regret, in order to freely able to go to the next journey, that you need to have the capability to let go so that you will have a peace of mind, isn't it? And letting go, forgiveness is also one of the phase of compassion, either to do with your own matters or either to do with others' matters. If the dying person is a non-believer, still prefer to have the last moment of awareness in the peaceful aspect, isn't it? So in that sense, if you simply have a pure heart of compassion, because compassion is, is not nothing to do with the religion. A compassion is very much immune of, of anybody who wish to experience peace and happiness. So, so even as a free thinker, at the time of dying, that can able to express sense of genuine care for yourself at least, which is the expression of compassion to yourself, is the way to die peacefully. And if we are offering care to free thinker, I think compassion is the tool that we can help them. Reminding them to accept the fact that just simply accept in the death and focus on the good thing that you have done and let go of anything that you grasped and simply settle yourself, be kind to yourself. I think the carer able to remind that is also the expression of compassion from the carer, and what the patient that receive also in the form of compassionate help. So this is what I believe, and those of believers can categorize into two sections. One is the thesis believer, another one is a believer of karma. And those who believe in God, I think from the carer side, the skillful means, if the carer is Buddhist or other religion or whatever, whatever religious background that you are practicing, but when we engage with the patient, I think the skillful means of understanding their faith and helping them accordingly with, their respect and their faith, and even to carry that understanding is a phase of compassion. And it is the best tool that, to help this, the dying person. Reminding the total submission to the God, and reminding to simply focus on the good deeds that you have done, and once you completely submit to the God, the only place to go near is to the God. So that kind of reminder that the carers can able to offer, and simply, yourself become the loudest and the nearest support for, that person's fundamental faith and belief. I think that can bring immense of peace and immense of comfort and immense of hope, to the patient. And if someone is who believe in a karma, like a Buddhist, then reminded the nature of life, the impermanent nature, and remind to just let go, which is the starting of the purifications of anything that you feel that you have done wrong in life, by the blessing of Buddha, and simply remind to focus on the good thing that you have done, and remind the endless continuum of the consciousness, letting them know that not to fear, this is not the end, and this in fact could be the starting of all the goodness, all the way up to enlightenment, all the way up to the never returning freedom. You see, so therefore just simply cultivate again compassion. In Buddhist teaching, there's one of very powerful tool to help the dying person. There is a teaching on the 5 powers, and the 5 powers is simply the dying person to simply focus on the mind of compassion, mind of altruism, and just try to die with that. And as long as you're able to die with that, that last mind of the compassion of dying person become the direct cause of the future higher rebirths, where you can continue to cultivate compassion, and through that compassion that you're able to deliver the state of enlightenment. You see, so as a carer, that if you understand this teaching, and to able to be the guide of someone who is in the most critical time is one of the most amazing job that you delivered. You know, in Tibetan we call powa. It's a transferring consciousness. You literally offer the blessing, or they offer the help of transferring someone's consciousness from misery to the higher spirits, you know, higher realms. So you see, so so if the patient is a Buddhist practitioner, if they hear about if they understand that they are reminded about the essential practice that they have been cultivating throughout the life, and what could be more appreciative than that to the carer, because that mattered the most. Nothing else mattered then, because that mattered the most, because that determined the rest of the goodness of your future lives. You see, so so therefore, compassion is the everything. Okay, so now lastly, because my time is overing, I try to be well disciplined today. So so you see, the work of hospice, you know, starting from the seniors, starting from those who been working, you know, all your life for this cause, you know, ever to be there as an inspiration for future generations, because the hospice care is needed beyond our lifetime. Because as long as human existence is there, as long as samsaric existence is there, the suffering is still there. You know, in the circle of life of ordinary human being, in the circle of life of samsaric human being, aging, sickness, death is a part of life. It's a package. So therefore, the vision for the future is not just up to our lifetime. You know, and even some of the seniors are, you know, let's say after 60 years later, maybe you're already 100 years old or whatever, but then you can still, you know, there's no retirement, you know, as far as concerned from hospice work, because your inspiration is the greatest knowledge and the greatest wisdom and greatest force of motivation that new generations can able to learn and take forward. You see, then for that, the current team that I think all of us, you know, who are listening here and who will listen from the recordings, which I personally do every day, whatever little goodness that I conduct, whatever little virtue, like on the while walking, if there's ants almost stepping under your feet, just saving their life, even just that simple gesture, or just lying on the bed and just simply have, you know, one moment of pure mind. There is accumulation of virtues and merit, and those merit I dedicate for the good health, long life, and harmony in the family, and actualize all the conducive conditions to yourself, your family, like such as you know, shelter, businesses, etc., so that you can focus to offer care to those needy ones. You know, so I do every day in my little way, and I urge every one of us, you know, to dedicate our merits our prayers to all the hospice carers, past, present, future hospice carers, to always enjoy the conducive conditions for them to never encounter even a one moment of distraction from the service that they can offer to the most vulnerable people. Then the younger generations, the new to this world of hospice, I do try to encourage whenever I get opportunity. Here too, I would like to encourage those who are learning Buddhist practices or any other religious practices, or even just one ordinary human being, not believing anything, but you still aspire for a good person. You still aspire to be helpful for the society, helpful for the most needy one. I urge that, at least start with the aspiration to join the works of Kasih Hospice. At least, in support of prayers, at least, like someone like me who is not capable at all, but at least I can join with the prayers, and those who are physically capable, I think the hospice need a lot of volunteers. So I hope that in future there will be lots and lots of abundance of volunteers come in. So with this note, I would like to end here, and thank you very, very much for the opportunity, and especially thanks for all the committee and all the volunteers. You have been inspiration to all of us. So thank you so much. Thank you.
That was Geshe, Tenzin, Zopa from Western Australia. Thank you, Geshe, for joining us with all your pearls of wisdom. It's a short talk, but as you can see, there is so much to learn from Geshe, and we are very happy we recorded the talk today so that, there's so much to learn and relearn, and we will be using some of this content both for our own self-reflection and also to share with others. Thank you very much, Geshe, for joining us today. And really, thank you so much for speaking about how hospice work is an expression of compassion. I think all of us who dedicate our lives and to it, that is indeed how we feel wherever we come from. This is where the space we all operate from. The opportunity and the privilege is ours to be able to give an expression of compassion with our lives, with our bodies, and whatever we have on hand. And if anyone wants to be a volunteer at Kasih, we are indeed welcoming and always looking for talent and people who want to join us. And it is, as Geshe has mentioned, an amazing thing that you can choose to do with your life. In the final part of our program, I would like to introduce everyone to Mdm Leong Moh See, who will be sharing her courageous testimony as a patient caregiver during these recent COVID times. Mdm Leong, thank you for joining us today and for being so willing to share your story for the benefits of everyone else. Not everyone will know what truly goes on behind the scene of a patient's final days. And when hospice comes into the picture, especially during your unique circumstances, which is during a pandemic, at the height of the pandemic, in fact. So Mdm Leong, thank you for joining us today, and maybe start by telling us how it feels to be a caregiver during COVID, and how you came into contact with Kasih Hospice and your experience there. Thank you, Mdm Leong, for joining us.
Okay, thank you, Catherine. Good afternoon, everyone, and indeed honored to be invited to share my experience with all of you on this auspicious day. Just a little bit background on my husband and myself. We are in our 60s and with children overseas, staying overseas, and we stay with my maid and my in-laws are staying out of state. My husband passed away on the 15th of May, and it is the peak of MCO. He was diagnosed 4 years ago in 2016, stage 4 colorectal cancer. His prognosis then was 1.5 years, and we are glad that he's able to survive for nearly 4 years. And he undergoes 6 operations and 50 chemo sessions. And what happened in March this year, I went to Australia as the birth of our grandchild, and I went to Australia, and he was with the maid in KL. And one day he called and said he was breathless and has slight fever. And what comes to mind straight away was, oh my God, is he having COVID? So we asked him to go to a private hospital, KPJ, to test, and it was luckily negative, but his symptom persisted. And we asked him to check into the hospital quickly to further investigate what is happening. And the most feared news came. His cancer relapsed. It was very bad. Both his lungs and his liver were affected. His whole right lungs were filled with water, and that is the reason why he was breathless. He was alone in hospital for the treatment, and there's no visitors allowed because of COVID. He is on oxygen support. He's alert but not mobile. So we FaceTime every day to give him love and support. And whilst I frantically try to get a flight back to KL. When I got back, I smacked into the quarantine, 14 days quarantine in a hotel. And that's when my traumatic experience started. His doctor called me and told me that there's nothing more they can do for him. He will be under palliative care and finally hospice care when he goes home, when I'm out of quarantine. I asked him what is his prognosis. He said, Mrs. Loh, you'll be very lucky if you're able to see him after your quarantine. I was shocked and lost. I cried buckets, but I know there's nothing much I can do because I need to pick myself up. It's me and only me. The children is locked down in the different countries. And I have to pick myself up as I know time is the essence. I need to prepare for his homecoming. I need to hang on to the fact that he will wait for me. He will not die alone. And I need to stay focused on what I need to do. So in the meantime, I appealed to KKM. I appealed to NACMA to shorten my quarantine, but it's a no-no for the government. So 8 hours in a day, I will do as though I'm working. I will call people, I'll call friends. I call doctors and ask them for his condition, what does he need? I need to source for all that. I ask friends to help out. And that's when I touch base with hospice nurse Rosanna. She was absolutely so patient, so informative and helpful, and source all the things that I need to loan it to me at home so that I can bring him home and give him comfort. Example like the bed and the oxygen concentrator. But nothing beats the toughest thing is to prepare for his funeral, which I know it's coming. I called friends who had experienced cancer, friends who had experienced carer. We cried, we talked, and cried again, and we're just an emotional wreck. And I was glad I'm quarantined because I don't need to see anybody. So emotionally, mentally, and just a wreck. Yeah. But I need to pick myself up during the day to prepare what I need to do. I need to pull away from the emotions and take it as a project. Husband homecoming, husband funeral. The night was the most difficult time, it's the darkest time because the mind can't stop working. There's 1,001 questions that circle in my mind. Will he be able to wait for me? He can't die alone. Will he contract COVID? Can I manage the actual process of him dying alone? So all this keeps circling unanswered questions in my mind. But luckily, I persisted and I can pull myself together. So the time, 14 days was up. I went to the hospital. It was very emotional. As is tears of joy, he waited for me. But I can't take him home yet because of his infection by hospital bugs. And he stayed a few more days. And the day before the planning to take him back home, he had a major attack, a near-death attack, whereby his erratic pulse moved from 30 to 200 and 200 to 30 and keep going up and down. He nearly had a cardiac arrest. And the doctors and nurses were running around trying to save him. And they managed to save him by upping his oxygen level from level 3 to level 12. And that's the time when fear of the reality sets in for me. I had my first panic attack. I asked myself, now, what if this same attack happens at home? Can I manage alone? Will I panic? There's no doctors, there's no nurses. There is no level 12 oxygen. The oxygen concentrator I have is only level 5. What am I going to do? Am I killing him? Will I live with the guilt of I can't give him the oxygen then? Can I bring him back to hospital? Will he survive the journey? So is it better for him to stay in hospital? And then I asked myself again, then how can I fulfill his last wish to come home? Well, I had that discussion with the palliative doctor, and they explained the situation that if I don't take him home, there'll be a lot of hospital bugs, and he can even catch COVID because of his immunity so low. And he reassured me that hospice care will be there for me when he's home. So all I can do is to hold on to that belief and hope that hospice care is there for me when I'm home with him. So I decided to brave it all, face it up front, and fulfill his last wish. I took him home in an ambulance. He was with me for 2 weeks, 2 good weeks. One day he wanted to sit up on a wheelchair. He told me that he knows that his oxygen intake is getting poorer, and he knows by sitting up, it would help him. But he was unable to even sit upright on the bed for more than a minute. So that reality sets in again when I ask myself, what if the same attack comes on when he tried to sit on a wheelchair? That's when I had my second panic attack. A crossroad, I don't know what to do. I turned to hospice again. I called Nurse Rosanna, and he very coolly and calmed me down and said, Mrs. Loh, don't worry, just give him morphine. And morphine will regulate his breathing and slowly move him every step of the way, every turn, and observe whether he has breathlessness. Now, for a normal person to move from the bed to a wheelchair will take you seconds, but it took him 20 minutes. We were very, very careful, and he has so many tubings around him, and it's so difficult not to pull out any. And the moment when he sat on the wheelchair, it was so much effort, and there's so much, we felt that's a great achievement on his part, on our part, the male carer and my maid, 3 of us, we were just dancing and rejoicing, all of us. It's like as though we are having a party. I videotaped that and I sent to Hospice Rosanna nurse, and I said, thank you so much for making it happen for him, because it's not about crying anymore. It's about what he can achieve for the day and the day that we look ahead of what he can do. And I still remember Rosanna was so encouraging, and she said, I'm so proud of you, Mrs. Loh, and your team, that you're able to give him that care and that love and joy to him at this time. And she said, I made her day. And I told her, you made me cry. And that's the support and the feeling I have with hospice nurse Rosanna at that moment. And throughout his 2 weeks, he was able to sit up 4 times in a wheelchair. And after every sit-up, he has to rest for 1 day. So that is the condition he was in, and it's to get weaker and weaker. Dr. Vanitha from hospice came twice. First time he came, every time he came, he come in his full PPE in the hot sun. But she is still so patient and very patiently talk to my husband, address his fears, address his concern, and talk to me. And his second visit, he was really very bad. He can't even talk anymore. That's when Dr. Vanitha put on 2 lines at his thighs so that we can administer medicine for him, because during these final days, there can be many things happening. So she very patiently explained to me how to administer all the drugs, and when I observed what happened to him, what to give him. She settled all my fears and my queries, but most of all, most important, she gave me a blank check. A blank check, not on money, but to me it's more important than money. She gave me her handphone number and said, Mrs. Loh, please do call me any time of the day or night when you're lost and you're anxious. She understood what I'm going through, the anxiety of don't know what to expect the next minute of him turning bad. And it can be middle of the night and I'm all alone. What am I going to do? She gave me that, and I'm really appreciative of what she did. She settled all my fears because I know I can fall back to her. And whenever and the trust that she had in me that I will not simply call her. And she even briefed me on what to expect. And the signs of eventuality is uncertain, his uneven breathing. And he assured that right now he's comfortable, but when his breathing becomes uneven, that's when it's coming. So she prepared me on what to expect, on the fear of the unknown. It's known to me now. I feel more confident. Basically, she also asked me to let him go as the suffering is too intense, and to let him know that we are okay if he wants to let go, and we let him go. That is important. Basically, Dr. Vanitha has guided me to his final moments and how to manage and expect the dying process of my husband. The last 3 days before he passed on, he rejected food and water totally. He was only gasping for air non-stop with his head popping up and down. And that was heartbreaking, and to see him suffer like that. So I decided to take Dr. Vanitha's advice, and I discussed with my children to prepare them. And the next morning, I read out loud to him all the beautiful poems that he always write to us on anniversary, on birthday. And I read out loud to him again and again and recalled happy times and reassured him that he has done his duty as a good father and a good husband. And to ask him to let go as the pain is too intense and we are all right. After a while, he gave a loud gasp and his breathing became irregular. And I know that it's coming. I put on my children on FaceTime, and together as a family, we're able to witness his last breath and death. And I think that's the best we can do for him, as the children are unable to come back because of the lockdown. Sorry. Now, in summary, if I were to ask this question, why I feel hospice is important to our community. My experience with hospice, though it's short because during COVID time, they are unable to come to give on-site support, but via the phone, but it is still so intent and so unforgettable for me. Their compassion, understanding, and the encouragement and the reassurance, example, the wheelchair incident of Nurse Rosanna, gave me the much needed confidence at that time to face and handle alone such fearful uncertainties. And that's so important that I can go around to him calmly, not panicking. And Dr. Vanitha, your reassuring mannerism calmed me and invoked that feeling that I'm not alone in this journey. You gave me the blank check. You gave me the trust to call you anytime. And that settled my anxiety immediately. Thank you very much, Dr. Vanitha and Nurse Rosanna. I couldn't have done it without you two and Kasih Hospice. Thank you so much from the bottom of my heart. I have a message for hospice staff, as I understand that you are going through are tremendous. It's tiring. You may be burned out. You are caring for so many patients, but your awesome, selfless job and meaningful job is the end journey, not only of the patient, but the carer and the family. Now, though you may be saying that you're answering questions, same old thing, day in and day out, your job, but don't forget, for the other party, it is the first time they ask you the question. And it is the first time they get that answer from you. And their situation and the crossroad at that very moment, they may be hanging on to you for a desperate solution or answers. And you were right there to help them. And you make that difference in their life at that moment. And that's so important. Please don't give up on us. Without doubt, hospice is an important arm and a much needed service in our community. Since hospice is running on charity, please do donate generously and in money or in services to support them to continue and play the very important and vital role of the much needed services to help our community. I urge every one of you to come forward. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share with you. And I'm sorry about being a bit emotional. Happy World Hospice Palliative Care Day. Thank you.
Thank you deeply for that most profound sharing, Madam Leong. We are truly honored by your courage and your willingness to share everything you have gone through, and you know, that's all the lessons that you are imparting to us, and for giving us hope. Yeah, and we are so grateful, wherever we are. Thank you very much. Your story left no one out, you know, and it had something for everyone. I know personally for myself, I will be turning over and over again the things you have said. So rich they are in lesson and in meaning. And thank you. And Madam Leong was our final speaker for today. So we have come to an end of our program this morning. On behalf of Kasih Hospice Foundation, I thank everyone for joining us on this beautiful Saturday and taking the time out. This is our second last event for the year. As a final note, Kasih Hospice Foundation will be holding its annual Interfaith Dialogue on December 5th this year, with 4 learned and erudite speakers from the 4 major religions that we have in Malaysia. Do look out for more information in the coming days. We will soon be publishing this poster as well as information on how to register on our Kasih Hospice Facebook. So thank you everyone for coming and joining us today. Once again, thank you for joining us. With compassion we serve. Thank you. Thank you everyone.
Thank you, Catherine. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Geshe. Thank you,
Thank you,
Madam.
Geshe. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, our Australian friend, Lindy, for joining.
Yeah, also, I think from Brisbane, the hospice, Corona Hospice, Venerables are there.
Oh.
So our sister hospice are there also.
And I'm from Australia too.
Yeah, those from Australia.
Hello.
Thank you. Okay. Learned a lot from Australia in our
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah, we really look forward to making a stronger connection with hospices in Australia and sharing some of our stories and journey and learning together.
Yes. Thank you. Have a nice and wonderful day. Stay safe.